Hi there, and welcome to another week of our doTERRA, the opportunity of a lifetime. It's our training program about how to use the Prosper Code. Right? The Prosper Code is a great system, and I love it because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Right? So tonight is our check-in call, and my intentions are to review, well, where are we this week? What did you accomplish? And what's working? I also am going to invite you to share your reflections. We're going to look at what's coming up in the next two lessons, lessons 3 and 4, and give you some personalized guidance on the plan of whatever it is you are putting into play. Right? The Prosper Code and the Cash the Code program, they're self-directed programs, right? So the course starts whenever you want it to start. It goes at the speed that you want to do. It fits into your life in whatever manner is comfortable for you. For people who want to do the program and stick with one lesson for every week, that's great. Maybe you're going to do one lesson every 2 weeks, right? So they have the lessons broken up into lesson part 1, part 2 for each of the weeks. So that you could do whatever speed you want. The most important thing is not to get overwhelmed, not to get frustrated, to set reasonable goals, and to live by them. Right? It's like you're the boss of your own company. Right? So I really want you to feel comfortable with the fact that you make decisions. But those decisions, right? How much time you invest in building your team, in building yourself, is directly related to the results. Most people have often heard me talk about when I'm doing coaching, right? I always tell people you can dial it up or down. So, for instance, if you're doing a cleanse, right? You could do the minimum. You could do targeted effort, or you could do outrageous, right? And so minimum gets you minimum results. Right? You feel better, but, did you really rock it? No, right? When you do everything according to the plan that's outlined, then you're going to hit the target. And if you dial it all the way up and you live it 100% to the fullest, you're going to have absolutely amazing results. And so it's your choice, but know that that choice comes with an outcome. Right? And so if you don't like the outcome, go back and look at your choice, right? If you wanted a higher outcome, well, maybe you have to look at, well, where can I step it up a little bit in my own effort? Okay? So, you are the one who decides. Let's just review again. What did you agree to do? Right? What was your goal for how many hours a week you wanted to spend, and what was your commitment towards that goal this week? So if you want to just open up the chat and let me know, my goal was 10 hours and I hit 10 hours, or I did 12 hours, or maybe I only found time for 5. Whatever it is, let's just a check-in means that we're going to be honest with ourselves, and that will also mean that there are reasons why we get the results that we get, right? And so you get to stop being a victim, right? We're the leader of our own parade. So throw something in the chat right now, or if you're listening to the recording, you can always email me and tell me, how many hours did you commit to do, and were you 100% committed to the process, right? So what I'd like to do now is invite you to tell me what worked this week, right? What I want to do is I would really like to go over what was expected to be done if you were following the whole lesson 2. And then we can talk in depth about, where was there kind of this hesitation or resistance inside of you. So the first is your daily routine, right? Self-care is success. The first component of every single day, you'll notice, is that we're going to continue our own wellness routine, right? It has to live for you first before you can share it with authenticity, right? So it's super important for you to live that wellness routine, right? We know that eating right, exercise, rest, manage stress, right? But what does that translate for you in terms of products? Right? What is it that you're using every single day? Right? Your self-care is part of your success. So week 2 also asks you to define why you want to do this and why it's important for you to get it done, right? There was a terrific document that would help clarify that why. Did you actually complete that form? Right? I'm going to send right now a bunch of links in the chat. So before we end the call, just make sure you copy and paste it into a document. There is many different trainings in the Prosper Code, Cash the Code system. So if you go into your lesson 2, you'll see all these links, all these videos, right? The one in particular is in lesson 2, part 1. Okay, so I'm in week, let's see, here, 2. Right here, the Finding Your Why worksheet, right? So this is a one-page form that asks some really good questions, right? Why do you do doTERRA? And what does do doTERRA mean? It means, why do I use the products myself? Why do I want to share with other people? And why do I want to change lives? Right? Why do I want to do that? Right? How has doTERRA changed your life? What's your passion for sharing doTERRA? Like, I know when I go out to the store or I go, you know, to a barbecue, I can't help but somehow talk about a doTERRA product that I'm using, because in everyday life, I'm always using products and there's always something to share with the people around me. So, you know, did you guys do this, right? One of the things that doing this actually helps you, it helps you to get really clear, crystal clear. You know, it's important that you believe in what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? That's what gets you over that hump. And once you understand why you're doing it, it really is important to say, well, how does doing doTERRA fit as a vehicle to accomplish that mission? So for me, it's truly important to me to restore families, right? You've heard me say it so many times, right? When I'm a hot mess, I gift my hot messness to every single person I touch that day. And so, you know, I'm like, if I can help one person, you know, feel healthier, feel more vibrant, you know, get through some kind of emotional or financial troubles, they're going to uplift their own self. And then that gift of self to other people will be that much better. And so that's what I want to do in the world. And doTERRA is a perfect fit, right? Because doTERRA is about living it for yourself first. And then sharing what you've discovered, sharing what you now know, actions that bring amazing results, both in improving your health, improving your outlook on life, improving your relationships, right? Improving your families. And at the bottom line, families are the core of a healthy society. So if we want to fix the world, we have to start with ourselves and the world that we touch in our families and in our close relationships. It's free. It's a perfect fit. So what is it for you? I invite you to again, you know, put it in the chat, write it down, really get clear on why you do it and why doTERRA is a perfect fit for you. If you're listening to this as a recording, I invite you to send me an email, simply.natural@optimum.net. Right? I want to hear what you have to say. I want to get connected to your why, because then I can better help you to reach your goals. So one of the things that lesson 2 also asked us to do is to write your names list, right? We did that in lesson 1, and now we were asked to kind of review it and start contacting people with an invitation, right? We want to start inviting people. And, you know, it's about inviting people to discover about the products. It's inviting people to also discover, you know, what's their power of influence, right? So you want to ask people what's going on in their lives and see whether or not they're open to discover more about their own power of influence, right? When we're inviting people, we often think of inviting to a class, right? But, you know, what did you invite them to, right? So first of all, you have to have a class, or you have to have an appointment blocked out in your calendar that you can say, hey, I'd like to invite you to meet with me for an hour next week on Tuesday, right? Or I would like to invite you to come to a class that I'm having next Friday at 7, right? So we're blocking time in our calendar, and then we're inviting people purposefully into those time slots, whether it's a class or a one-on-one. We have to put it in our calendar first, right? So I do the same thing, right? So more than just the products or a class, there's the business opportunity. But I want you to think of that business opportunity not so much as business and work, right? I want you to focus on, again, that why. Did you invite them to believe in their own power of influence, right? We remember the belief pyramid, right? So we believe in the products, we believe in the company, we believe in ourselves, we believe in our leaders, right? And as you get to the top of that pyramid, right, that goes with rank, the top of that pyramid is the people who believe in their power of influence, that they can change the world, right? They have usually really big dreams about, you know, changing the world at large, but whatever that dream is for you, it's okay, right? But why not look for the people who already have a thought about their power of influence and, you know, find someone who's already at that top, right? We're all down here looking for people who want, you know, believe in the products and the company, right? But when you're looking for a builder, I want you to look for people who already see their power of influence, that they have big plans for changing the world, and invite them to discover, how does doTERRA fit into that mission, right? This is how we serve our builders, right? We all know how to serve our product users. We all know how to serve our teams to get them excited about using the products and sharing with others, right? I hear very often people have, you know, stumbling blocks with finding other builders. So this might be another way, right? So that's how we start to invite our builders. In the lesson, there is a really great video by Becky Hintze. You know, it's actually entitled Finding Rockstar Leaders. So I invite you to make sure that you watch that video, right? And then really get to know the build guide, right? It's there for us, you know, created by, you know, powerful leaders, and it works. So get familiar with the build guide, watch some of the videos of how the leaders use the build guide to actually kind of, you know, kind of sort through all of the people, right? So let's say you touch 100 people in the course of a month or two, right? You're going to have some of them be product users, you're going to have some of them be sharers, and you're going to have some of them be leaders or builders, right? And so how do we sort through them? Well, the build guide is exactly the tool that helps you do that. So if you're not using the build guide yet, I invite you to do that and watch some of these videos, go through this particular lesson plan, right, in lesson 2, to learn a little bit more about how to use that tool effectively, right? And then, of course, you know, this week was chock full of really great videos that help you prepare yourself to either host or to present for some other host, right? And, when we prepare ourselves, we get better, right? When we practice, we improve our skill. And that's what this whole course is about, improving your skill, right? And you pick whatever skill it is, whether it's the inviting skill or the presenting skill, the, finding leader skill, becoming a leader yourself skill, right? But the more we get better at that particular skill, when we do something really well, it gives us confidence to do it again. And it makes us, it almost becomes second nature, right? The more and more you do it, and the better you do it, the easier it is to repeat it. So, this whole lesson was about preparing yourself. So I'd like to ask you, what was your favorite video? I mean, there were so many different videos. There was a video, my #1 secret to teaching a doTERRA class. Do you know what the secret is? Got to watch the video.
Terri,
there was also,
I just wanted to add, if I could.
Absolutely.
One of the videos was about presenting, and she was saying, and it actually resonated with me, because she said the presentation, it shouldn't really be a presentation, it should be a conversation. And it kind of just made me realize that's what I try to do, and not to be caught up in the details of what you're presenting and exactly what you're saying, but it's more about the conversation, about them and not me. And that really I don't know, something clicked with me.
That is a great observation, right?
Yeah.
We're in service,
Right.
right? So it's about them. So anytime you can shift the focus off of you and onto them, it's always going to be, an improved skill on your part, right? It's always going to turn out better. So I love that you zoned in on that right away, that it is important to make sure that, if the class and the presentation is interactive, right? Well, tell me about you. Tell me what's going on in your life. Right. Pass an oil around. How does this make you feel, right? What symptoms or ailments are going on in your life that this oil will be an effective solution, right? So I do love that you brought that up. Thank you. Anyone else have any observations? What was your favorite video?
Terri, this past week was amazing. Every single video. The rock star, how to find your rock star leaders, that was really good. And it really, kind of gave some guidance. I mean, maybe you think about someone who doesn't really have a job and, wants money, needs something to do, but it's so much more. It might be somebody who's really, really busy and has a lot of connections. So, I was really excited to hear about all that. And the other one was the 15-part how to do the natural solutions class. I think they were using an older form, but we don't have the history, on top. So I took like outline type notes. So, I kind of changed it a little bit to fit the new natural solutions form. And that was really good too. So that took me a long time because I kept stopping to write down a lot of things, type a lot of things.
And I like how you were, the activity that you did was to make it your own, right? So I say all the time, information for the sake of information doesn't serve us. It's when we take that information and integrate it into our activities and our belief systems that we change our behavior because of that new information. That's when that information is now valuable to us. So I love that you did that, right? By stopping and kind of, okay, now how would I do this? How do I want to make a natural solutions class more effective for me?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I will mention to them that they should update to have the newer brochure.
It was just a couple of things. And then I'm meeting with one of my leaders tomorrow because we're having a class on Thursday. She did the audio version of the Emerge Sales training and I did the webinar one. And then take my outline from the Prosper Code, which she has been doing too. and come up with a class that puts in the language that we might need from the Emerge sales training in with this, so that we're comfortable with it, and we get to close the class.
There you go. There you go. And, one of the takeaways that was really important to me when I did the Emerge training was that, when, we're so focused on, making the sale, closing the class, getting people to enroll, right? And that's where we all start to get that knot in our stomach. I'm like, oh God, I don't really feel good about this. So, what I like to think about, is the words that Tasha Smith said. She's like, when a person loves the oils and goes home without a kit, they're just as sad as you are. Right? That shifted me, and like, oh my gosh. So me doing what I do better and making it more comfortable for them to figure out what is the right kit for them, so that they could go home with some oils, right? And just, how we customize what we say and how we say it will help the person who is across the table from us. That was powerful for me, that when I get better, people will end up with oils in their home and they will feel better. They will love it. Like that was super powerful for me. So thank you for sharing. Anyone else have a favorite video that they want to mention? I do like the natural solutions, or just even learning to do a little bit more on the products and inviting people and that presenting. Boyd Truman, as part of the Summer Success Challenge, his 1 hour coaching call the first week was all about, let's get back to the basics, right? The company is an amazing company because it's founded on amazing products. And when we lead with the product, right, you're going to have amazing results. So focus on the product, focus on how the product serves a purpose for each individual person. And each individual person is going to have a different reason why there's an oil that needs to be in their home. And so when we focus on those two things, product and serving the individual needs of our people, really connecting with people as people, right? That's the most powerful thing. So I love that one too. So anyone else have a favorite video they want to mention? Okay, so let's look forward to week 3. So, again, right, it's spending 30 minutes a day in the lessons, right? And for the people who are doing this lesson by lesson, week by week, are you finding that the time frames are appropriate? Right? Good.
Okay. Yeah, this week was a little bit crazy for me, so I had to do them just in the last couple of days. So when I finished today, the 2.2, which wasn't as long as the 2.1, and finished section 2, lesson 2, it said that the next lesson would be available in 5 days. So I need to be available like tomorrow. So, but I mean, if I did spread it out, I do think the time is appropriate. The one about the class was long, but it was such good information that I can't see how that could be shorter. But in general, and even just looking down at the classes and how much time is allotted for each one, it's not much time, and it's a lot of learning.
Yes, there's a lot of meat. So we're really maximizing the use of your time. So in that 30 minutes that you're going to spend on day 1, we're going to make sure that you focus on the exact right material that's going to help you improve that very particular skill. So in lesson 3, we're going to actually focus on the inviting, presenting, and enrolling, right? So it's called IPing, right? It's the money producing activities, right? So if you remember Laura Jacobs, she did that. This is preparing yourself, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting your people, your team members, right? And so she was like, we love personal development. We all love to, explore all the different ways that we can be better. We love, or we get, naturally, we get pulled into supporting our team because they're so excited and they want us to help them, right? So you get texts and emails and, Facebook posts and all this other stuff, right? And so, but these are the activities, the invite, present, enroll, that actually grow your business, right? You could do these two things and you might see some moderate growth because we're showing value for the product, right? So you have team members have higher orders, but you're not going to grow your team with additional members until you start doing this, right? And so she was like, this is kind of like hanging out, like that, Hawaiian, like, hey, let's hang loose, right? Right? So doing all 5 of these core activities is part of the plan, right? So, we're going to focus on inviting strategies. We're going to focus on, how to make the class about them. So the point that Ro just brought up, we're going to go a little bit deeper into, well, how do we do that? What are the most effective tips to make sure that I'm integrating the material so that it's interactive, that we get people to participate and we get them to feel that they are the only person in the room that matter, right? We're also going to start to focus on your own story, right? So as part of the presentation, we do have to define, our own story, right? People see themselves in the stories we tell. So one of the activities that you'll do is just, to help kind of just write your story, right? What was the product I used and how did it help me? And how do I think it can help others? I invite you to do that multiple times, right? Because doTERRA is for many different people. So do you have a story to tell? So doTERRA is for moms who want to put more natural products and they care about what things they buy because it's going on their children, right? So do you have a story to tell about that, right? doTERRA is for people who, want to feel more vibrant. They want to get better sleep every day and they want to be able to move through their day with energy and purpose, right? Do you have a story to tell about that, right? doTERRA is for people who have some kind of challenge in their life, whether it be a physical challenge or an emotional challenge, right? Do you have a story to tell about that? So based on the market, right? So like there are definitely different niches inside the global community of people that you're going to interact with. So, I like to have a little story for each of them, right? So doTERRA is for people who are at a barbecue and don't want to put, a toxic solution on their skin or in the air that disrupts their hormones and creates nervous system issues, right? So doTERRA is for those people. So I have a little script about, well, these are the couple of things that I put together that help repel pests. And it's a 30-second speech about why would you want to use your own pest repellent. And you take it to every barbecue. I give one to my host. I give it to people. And, this is a quick way that people see the value of the products, having them in their home and being able to create them with their own 2 hands. Right? So how amazing is that? So we're gonna learn in week 3 more and more about the crafting of that story, the telling of the story, to initiate a response, which is inviting them and getting them to either set up an appointment with you, one-on-one, or to come to a class, right? And so there's an intention, right? We share with an intention. Let me just see if there was anything else on week 2 that I want to. Yes, so one of the other things that's coming up is we'll be focusing on lifestyle overview, right? Because as we invite people to use the products, we want to make sure that we invite them to book a lifestyle overview with us as our first order of business. Most of the time, it's the first thing I do after they have enrolled, But there have been times where we do it first as a means to help them see the value of enrolling. We're going to go into that a little bit more. So week 4 is no different, right? Same 2.6 hours. And week 4 is more, moving into the class, right? We're going to do wellness consults. How do I do that, right? But we're always inviting people, right? The people on our names list. Okay, we're going to continue to manage who did I invite already and where are they in the process? Did they set up a meeting? Did they come to a class? Did they enroll? Do they have their LRP set up? And so depending on where they are, you're going to just support them wherever they are on that journey, right? And so there's lots of really great videos that help you with how to review an order, how to do a wellness consult, and create a personalized health plan. Right? This is so important because this is how we get people to really understand the benefits of a daily routine. Right? This is not like a Pampered Chef party where I'm going to buy something once. It's a cool tool, and I'm going to put it up in the cabinet and take it out twice a year and use it. This is something that we're going to do every single day. It is simple and easy, right? Which makes it, easy to duplicate, easy to do, easy to integrate into your daily routine. And so, but we have to create that daily routine for them, and we have to show them that when you do this, this is the solution that will happen for you, right? And tying that bow and making it personal to them is one of the keys. So, look for those in weeks 3 and 4 as you start to get deeper and deeper into this class. So what I wanted to do now was to share some Emerge sales training nuggets, right? So this was a podcast, and I thought this was really appropriate. So atomic truth bomb number 1. Giving an oil recipe and a sample to every single person that you meet with a sniffle, a pimple, or an ailment is destroying your credibility as an expert. Wow. Atomic truth bomb? Absolutely. That one blew up in me. You identify something in someone that might make them a great fit for your product, right? Maybe they posted something that they were struggling with a cold, and you're like, oh, great. I'm going to, swoop in. I'm going to drop some breathe on them, and I'm going to help them solve that issue, right? So you send them a sample, then you follow up with the client with the hope that they'll come back and love that product as much as you do, and they want to make that purchase. Or maybe come to a class. Is that working for you? Is your team growing rapidly with that approach, right? She's like, worst case, your potential client takes the sample and says, thanks so much. They stick it in the junk drawer, and they actually never use it. All right, well, you're just out the money for that sample, right? The best case scenario is your client uses the product, it works just like you knew it would. They came back to you and they say, I want to buy that product and only that product. How much does it cost? And you get into this complicated discussion over wholesale versus retail, and you spend a ton of your time making back just enough to cover the cost of the sample and maybe buy yourself a cup of coffee. But typically 60% of the time, the client's going to use the product improperly, or really they don't understand the benefits of the product. And maybe you gave them a single oil for their cold when multiple would have served them better. Or maybe they used it in conjunction, and they're just not really even sure how effective it was, right? I'm not really sure I felt any better than I did with my normal cold medicine. So what's the better thing to do? Well, the better thing to do is to actually sit with them. Okay, the cold's an issue today. What else is going on in your life? And kind of build that problem list out. Spend 15 minutes and let them really tell you about what's going on in their life. Right? It could be an emotional cold. I've had those where, breathe maybe opened my airways, but I definitely needed some forgive in order for me to move through what I was going through emotionally. That was part of what was taking my breath away. So, meeting with them in person, doing a little bit deeper dive into what's actually going on in their life, and then pairing product with each of those things, right? Because you're taking it in isolation. You're taking one issue out of this huge pot and hoping that that's going to be enough to get them to see that the product's going to be valuable for all the rest of the problems. So the better approach would be to actually get them to sit down with you as a professional. Let me sit with you. We'll deep dive into all the things that are going on in your life. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the products in like my favorite kits and how appropriate these are as a solution for the many things that are going on in your life. And we'll help them get that kit in their home and then support them through using it, right? And so, give samples, but give samples with a different mindset, right? Give your card out with a different mindset, right? Give your card out and say, may I please have your phone number so that I can call you in a day or two and set up an appointment for us, right? Get that appointment. The other one was the atomic truth bomb number 2, right? Your customer isn't going to give you $300 because of your story. The story they care about is their own. And this goes back to some of the stuff that we learned in lesson 2 that Ro pointed out and I mentioned before, right? Let's find out what's going on in their life and let's serve them. Our story helps to get them to emote, to see potential, to give them hope. But we need to deep dive into their story in order for them to take that next best action for them. And then, of course, posting pictures of your products all day on Facebook won't grow your business. The people who buy from these posts would have bought no matter what. Successful salespeople sell by actually talking to people, right? We're in the relationship business. We talk to people. Yes, we love social media. We love Facebook. We love email and text messaging as a means for staying connected. But it is not the sole source. It is the personal connection that really makes this different. So I'll give you an analogy. Let's say a lawyer posted all the different things every day about why you need to create a will and why you need to have a trust and why you need to have, tax planning. And like he could post all day long. But it's actually meeting with him for that half hour or an hour to really understand, well, how does this fit into my life, right? There's nuances. And so I really, and we think of a lawyer as a professional person. He's not going to start hawking his wares at a backyard barbecue, right? So, what I usually do, give my office a call and we'll set up an appointment. You can come in and we can talk for free. And then if there's something that you feel is a necessary or valuable thing for you, then we'll take the next step, right? So think of it that way, right? We are not just people with a passion or a hobby, even though it is a passion, right? And it started as a hobby for many of us, right? It's about being professional. So one of the other things that I found in the links that are at the top of this chat, there is there's a great video. And the Emerge Sales Program is terrific. So this was life as a proficient salesperson, right? So when you are proficient at the conversation and engaging people in the inviting, presenting, and enrolling phase of IPing, you no longer dread reaching out to people to tell them about your product. How many people now have a little bit of that dread? Oh God, I gotta call people and I gotta tell them about my product, right? I met this person and now it's awkward, right? Conversations flow naturally and your customer continually feels happy and completely engaged, right? Isn't that what we want? We want the conversation between our team members and our prospects to flow naturally, and you want them to feel served. You want them to be so happy and completely engaged, not ignoring your text and be like, oh, I'm not calling her back, right? We want this. When we're good at what we do, we create this in them, right? Your calendar is filled with appointments and they're all people who are actually interested in the product, as much interested as you are. People who will actually buy from you, right? Right. So, part of the way we invite people, the way we present information and get appointments or groups and actually serve their needs helps us to actually find the people who are just as interested and passionate about this as us. And when you have that group of people, wouldn't it be great to now sift through them to see which ones are at the top of the belief pyramid and want to influence the world and stand shoulder to shoulder with you as a builder of other teams? Right? Now you're thinking, right? Okay, the next one is the easy feeling of knowing that you can navigate this whole process whenever you choose to do so. And it makes you feel like hopeful and fulfilled, right? It's like that the whole process of this now is, you wake up in the morning and you can't wait to get started, right? Isn't this how you want to feel, right? Isn't this the whole Megillah, right? So I'm going to kind of deep dive right now into, one way that we can be better salespeople, or actually service people. So I have a little challenge for you, all right? So I want you to put on your calendar for this week, I want you to block 4 30-minute time slots, right? And I want you to offer a lifestyle overview to members or prospects, right? I'm going to sit with you. We're going to go over using like the Live Guide. We're going to do a lifestyle overview, right? There's the video in the Cash the Code lesson that's coming up. So watch the video by Laura Jacobs. She's amazing, right? And we're going to show them the value of the LRP kits, right? We have a lot of LRP kits, right, that are pre-customized with all the products you need for a particular ailment, right? So you're going to have a personal note, right? So thank you so much for being part of our doTERRA community. One of the perks of your membership is that you are eligible to receive a free lifestyle overview, right? I'm going to come and visit with you for about 30 minutes, either in your home or over the phone, and I'm going to help match your health priorities with the products that you have, right? And if you don't have them and you want them, we can help you get them. I'll connect with you, right? And we'll set up that time, right? And I'm looking forward to chatting with you, right? And so what a great little note, right? I'm here to serve you. I want to do a lifestyle overview. It comes with your membership. And, when's a good time for you to meet, right? And then, we have this great set, right? So remember, we have the Daily Habits kit, right? We also have all of these new, the Immune Support Kit, Seasonal Threats, Cleanse and Restore, Calm and Harmony. Like, so for every level of the pyramid, right, we have a kit that solves that. So when we're looking at the Live Guide, right, each spread in the Live Guide matches each level of that pyramid, the eat right, the exercise, rest, and so once we find out what's their highest priority, we can immediately go to a particular kit that's customized with products for that very specific goal, right? And one thing I know is that money follows value, right? When we show people the value of the products in their life for their very specific issues, right? And we show them as effective solutions. We teach them how to use them in a daily protocol. You're going to find that they buy the kit and they buy it over and over again. And now people will not only become members, but they will become loyalty rewards people who order every month because they just love the product that much. Now, isn't that exciting? Right? Isn't that exciting? That's what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to get better at the skill. Why? So that people have oils in their home that they can reach for when they need them. Right? Isn't that the most amazing gift that you can give somebody? I'm getting goosebumps, right? I've been doing this 8 years and I'm still excited to find that next person, right? So, I love the Cash the Code program because it really helps walk people through all this. Okay, so our intentions were to go over the wins and what is working and what isn't. So what I want to do now is kind of spend some time and have you share your reflections, what's working, what was a challenge for you, and kind of really get into guidance for your very particular plan. So before I do that, what I want to do is I'm going to stop the recording and just remind people that we're here again next Monday at 7 p.m. for our next call, which is a check-in, and we'll be doing kind of, what's working, what isn't working about the weeks 3 and 4, and then we'll preview what's coming up in the lessons 5 and 6. Okay, thanks for joining us.